Hello, my fellow Whovians and subscribers, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review Series 7, Episode 6 of Doctor Who, The Bells of St. John, starring Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor. So, The Bells of St. John, this is the beginning of Series 7, Part 2, the 6th episode. It takes place directly after the Christmas special, The Snowmen, and it also stars Jenna Coleman as Clara Oswald in the modern day. This is technically Clara's third introduction into the show, although it's the main Clara's introduction to the show. And the plot of The Bells of St. John is as follows. London 2013. Danger. This is a warning to the whole world. You're looking for Wi-Fi. Sometimes you see something a bit like this. Don't click it. Do not click it. Once you've clicked it, they're in your computer. They can see you. If they can see you, they might choose you. And if they do, you die. When Clara Oswald has problems with her internet, she's given a telephone number, the number of the best helpline in the universe. When the Doctor answers at the other end, Clara is pulled into a life of adventure and mystery. But danger is lurking in the signals, picking off minds and imprisoning them. It's like immortality, only fatal. But can the Doctor save Clara before I don't know where I am? Okay, The Bells of St. John. This is another story that gets, I think, quite a mixed response by the fandom. A lot of people don't seem to really care for this one that much. Some people even go as far as to say that it's crap and it's a rip-off of The Idiot's Lantern. I have personally never understood that criticism. I personally don't think it rips off The Idiot's Lantern at all. And it's not like The Idiot's Lantern was a great work of art. It was a good story, but it wasn't a work of art. In my opinion, The Bells of St. John, this is actually a decent story. I thought for years I was one of the only people that liked this story, but my good friend Harry Thomas also likes this story. I mean, granted, it isn't perfect. I'm not saying that it's a masterpiece. It isn't by any stretch. It's far from perfect. But compared to the last couple of stories, it'll do, Stephen. It'll do. Stephen Moffat writes this script, and it's actually a decent script. It could have been better for sure, but it certainly has a good premise with the concept of the Wi-Fi and the people being trapped in the Wi-Fi, and it's definitely very modern and a sort of contemporary story. But I do feel like the plot is a bit too thin. Like, he doesn't spend enough time in the script developing the villains and their motivations behind trapping people in the Wi-Fi. I mean, and it turns out that they're working for the Great Intelligence. Okay, yeah, nice twist, but why? It wasn't really explained that much. Celia Imrie's character works for Richard E. Grant, who's the Great Intelligence, or Dr. Simeon. I mean, most of the episode is kind of focused on the Doctor and Clara. The fact that the Doctor is meeting the modern-day version of Clara, and that they keep sort of running into each other. Like, Clara ends up phoning the TARDIS somehow. She gets the number for the TARDIS, and she's trying to, she thinks it's like a Wi-Fi helpline, and the Doctor's on the phone to her, and she's asking for the password, and then the girl that she's looking after, she's looking after these two kids because Clara's a nanny, and the password is run you clever boy and remember, or it's RUCBAB or something like that, and that obviously twigs some suspicions for the Doctor, so he goes to meet her. And throughout the episode, the Doctor is still trying to work out the mystery behind Clara and how she has kept appearing at least 3 times. But mainly they are working together to solve the mystery of the Wi-Fi. And to be honest, I've made no secret of the fact that I don't care for Clara as a character. But I will say this is definitely one of her better stories. Clara's not as annoying, not as sassy and overconfident as she has been in the past. Certainly not as much as the Snowmen. I thought Jenna Coleman did a really good job in this story, and her chemistry with Matt Smith was good. There's still a little bit of those sexual undertones, but for this story I'll forgive it because there's not too much of it. And I thought that her chemistry with Matt Smith was really good. They bounced off each other quite well, and she was kind of cute. She was charming, and there's a nice scene where he sort of, after she's been attacked by the Spoonheads, he tucks her into bed and he puts a plate of jammy Dodgers by her bedside table, which is kind of nice. So overall, I think Jenna Coleman gets off to a good start as Clara. I think she does get off to a good start, and don't worry, she'll be here to stay, so the worst is yet to come. As for Matt Smith, yeah, he's very good as the Doctor. I like Matt Smith in this story. He's got a newfound energy. His new costume is really cool, the sort of purple jacket. I mean, he does bring out his old jacket, but then he tosses it away and throws on a new look, which, fair enough. I suppose it works for this story, and obviously with the new TARDIS and everything. There's a fantastic scene where they ride on a motorbike. Well, the Doctor rides on a motorbike through London and then up onto the Shard, which is really cool. That's a great fan moment. That's probably one of the 11th Doctor's best moments in his era, I think. That's a really great moment. I mean, the concept of the villains is cool, but calling them the Spoonheads, that's just a ridiculous name. That's just a stupid, silly name. And again, they don't do very much. All they do is kind of turn their heads around, and they've got like these scanners on the back of their heads, and they can sort of scan people into the Wi-Fi. Again, a cool concept, but not developed enough. And the climax of the story is a bit rushed, the way that the Doctor just kind of turns up to the Shard and takes down these people who are working for the Great Intelligence and who are in control of the Wi-Fi, like Celia Imrie's character. I mean, Celia Imrie's great in the story, but I suppose she is a little bit wasted. I mean, the thing is, her character doesn't do very much. She's obviously not the top dog of this hierarchy in terms of the, of what's going on. But she does give a good performance, and I do like her scene with Matt Smith at the very end of the story. I just thought there could have been more kind of conflict in the story. Like, it could have been a more dramatic ending than it was, but it was decent, but I just thought, it was kind of an anticlimax in a way, so that kind of does let the story down. And I do like the first half of the story. It is charming, but it does take a while to sort of get the story going. But I can't deny, I did have fun watching this one, and I thought that, again, the banter between the Doctor and Clara was good, and it wasn't completely, sexual. I mean, there was a couple of sexual references, but it was less annoying than it was in The Snowmen, so thank God for that. Again, the concept of the story is really good. I just felt like they could have gone into more detail about the villains, why they want to do this, and this Wi-Fi network that's, taking people's souls and everything. And also, in the end, did the Doctor and Clara manage to free everyone else? I don't know if they did. If they did, I can't remember. So it is a little bit forgettable, this story, but it is good. Like, it has enough moments for me to go, you know what, that was fun. It was, I mean, again, compared to the last two stories, I'll take it. So, overall, I mean, The Bells of St. John, it's not a perfect story, but I thought it was decent enough for what it was. And, yeah, I'm going to give The Bells of St. John a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it's good. So next time on Doctor Who Review, we look at The Rings of Akatan, which will be an interesting one. So until then, thank you very much all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya. Bye for now.